Hello, my name is Brett Thomas Thomas. You're here watching Templis CALSF vs. Snuffed Out. Alex, why don't you introduce what we've people have brought to the field on this last match of the day?
Well, welcome to your main event, everybody. You've got Snuffed Out, the raid bosses of EVE Online, with a triple Raven, Scimitar, Stork, double Jackdaw, double Vigil comp, up against Templis CALSF, the elite of Wrecking Crew. Brett, what do they have?
Templis CALSF have brought a Damnation, double Drekavac, double Curse, double Deacon, double Confessor, and a Vengeance. So they've got a lot of that battle cruisery mid damage with the Confessors and the Curse for control.
Yeah, I really like the Templis CALSF comp here. I think Snuffed Out's a terrific team, but I've got to say, feels like Templis has the edge at the outset as Killa 542 takes the bulk of the damage here. He is going into pretty deep armor, but pulling it back as Sefoya the Deacon also getting some DPS pressure, probably from
Yeah,
those Jackdaws.
Yeah, just so everyone's aware, these Ravens are cruise missiles, so you're not going to see, like we've saw in previous, where you're not going to see a clip and then a reload. This is just going to be consistent damage against these battle cruisers. So hopefully the Skybreaker and the Jackdaws can clear enough of the rep drones, because that's what's keeping these alive, is the rep drones. As I'm saying that though, the Deacon of Savoy is being shot by these two Jackdaws.
Yeah, even with the Ravens application bonus, these are faction Ravens. They've got a application bonus and a damage bonus. They are being missile guidance disrupted. That's probably coming from those curses. That's definitely going to cut down their effectiveness against the smaller sig radius targets. Not as badly as if they were regular Ravens, but still significantly. Now, Last Spartan's curse is taking some damage. He is down to half armor. He is slowly bleeding out. Tempest CALSF really needs to remove some damage from the field here, but they're just having trouble breaking the reps.
Yeah, it looks like all of the drones have went down for Snuffed Out. They YOLO'd their drones in early to try and get a max amount of damage, but it looks like they've all went down and they've reloaded the shield maintenance bots. So they've all dropped shield maintenance drops on Trony of the Jackdaw.
And it looks like curse newts have finally been applied to the scimitar. That's the thing that they're really looking for here. If they can keep that scimitar's cap under control, they should be able to clean up, especially with the Drekovic's spooling damage on a high value target. Now, I
Yeah, it
don't
look
believe they've found that target yet, as one Jackdaw goes down, followed by a Skybreaker. But these Dracovacs have yet to play a pivotal role, as the Confessor of Solidus Obscura gets switched on by Snuff, taken into deep structure.
yeah, it looks like they've hot swapped to the Confessor while the two deacons are keeping the Spartan up, are keeping the last Spartan in the curse up. They've just spotted the confessors are a bit too far away and are just applying a lot of damage to them. But now that the deacons are getting closer, you should see this last confessor survive here.
Yeah, that was a brutal trade, a bit of a setback for Templis CALSF. I still think they're doing well here, as the Jackdaw for Snuff is about to go down. That's the last Jackdaw. Their Scorp is sure to follow soon. That'll be their Lynx, and that takes a lot of tankiness out of the picture for them, and possibly some E-War resistance, depending on how the Stork is fit. You'd have to assume it's mostly got tank links, but
Yeah, we're seeing Dale in the curse. That was the curse that was muting the scimitar, so it's really far away from its reps and its drones. We're seeing it drop into low armor now. Hopefully, it can go down before all these armor rep drones get to it.
oh, if that curse dropping, if it indeed does die, that is a huge blow for Templis CALSF. They really need to keep these curses alive until they're able to kill the scimitar, or decide that they don't need to kill the scimitar at all. But if they lose the curses while the scimitar is still up, that is going to spell disaster for them here.
Yeah, it looks like the Logi drones have finally managed to get in time. The Deacons have arrived, so this curse is going to survive. But as I'm saying that, all the Drekovics are just pounding damage into the Scimitar of Get Throwed. We're seeing him boost, but he's not boosting fast enough. He's
Yeah,
just hitting low shields, boosting, and then losing a little bit of armor every time.
and it's going to get worse from over time as these Drex continue to spool. Now, once the scimitar goes down, it's kind of dealer's choice for Templis CALSF. I would imagine they'll try to clean up that vigil that they've barely, it's got barely a little bit of structure left, and there it goes. And now I think they have an open road to just gradually wear down these Raven navies and keep their support wing alive.
Yeah, these Raven navies just not able to apply enough damage with crews when double curse has been brought. Templis CALSF have no missiles have been great for this tournament, so brought heavy missile disruptors and just stopped those Navy Ravens from being able to apply anything really well.
Yeah, and they were already going to have some trouble against this relatively low sig radius comp from Templis CALSF, but the curse guidance disruptors just made it functionally impossible. But you saw how close it was. You could easily imagine if they had one or two less disruptors or no disruptors at all, the damage from these ravens would have blown through a lot of the support chips on the Templis CALSF team. The amount of damage coming off them is insane. And like I said, they do have
A
that application bonus, but it just isn't enough here.
You saw at the very start how huge the damage was applied before the missile disruptors landed on the Ravens. They got that big chunk of damage and then it dropped off as the missile guidance disruptors hit. Would it have been optimal to shoot a curse instead next time before the disruptors hit to apply damage?
The disruptors would have hit instantly, but I definitely think they should have focused the curses straight away. They tried to headshot these Drekovics, which would have cut down the incoming damage, but they had enough Logi to tank most of that direct damage anyway. The real linchpin there was if the curses were able to get newts onto their scimitar, which, given enough time and enough room to maneuver, not only were they
Yes.
able to do it, but they did it incredibly effectively, and it turned the fight on its head almost immediately and took away any hope that Snuff had of victory, as they're now forced to just sit there and watch their ravens slowly bleed out hit points to these Drekovic beams and curse drones.
Yeah. Templar's Calcife doing a really good job here of keeping everybody alive except for one confessor, which was a snuffed out hot swap just about out of range of the deacons. But they've done really well of knowing that we can put the confessors in these positions, do enough damage, and if they die, it's not going to lose us the match.
Yeah, a lot of composure on the side of Templis Calcif. They lost that one confessor, but immediately rallied. The other confessor of Wailing Six Names got primaried, but he adjusted his piloting, probably adjusted his defensive configuration, and he was able to stabilize almost immediately. So it didn't really allow Snuff to snowball and capitalize, which is incredibly important when you're at a tournament team at this level. You can't let yourself get rattled by a setback.
Yeah, we're seeing this final Raven Navy issue go down. Alex, why would you bring in Raven Navy instead of something like a Scorpion Navy?
Well, the Raven Navy's main advantage is damage application. The idea behind the Cruise Navy Raven would be basically the entire arena is unkiteable. You can hit everything everywhere, and you can hit small targets really well. But unfortunately, as we found out in testing, while that's good in theory, in practice, you still need targets tackled down if you're going to have hope to kill them.
Ye- ye-
Untackled, really tanky Drekovic, it was like a pretty decent option for their first shot, but it just doesn't have the oomph needed. Like, you really need to pin them down or go with torpedoes or something like that. The cruise missiles just don't have what you need, especially when you have to put like 63 points. That's nearly two-thirds of their entire points into those Ravens. They didn't have a lot of backup damage. They didn't have a lot of tackle. The vigils were nice, but they're not going to stop the speed.
yeah, and as this final Raven Navy issue goes down, this is going to be the last match for today. So thank you everybody for joining us. My name is Brett Thomas. I'm here with Alex, and I'll pass it back to the studio.